Hello, beautiful bookish people. My name is Hannah Hansen, and that's right, half of the year is gone. Yep, that's me. And if it wasn't clear from that introduction, which, let's be frank, it wasn't, today we are doing the mid-year book freakout tag. Whew! That was a mouthful, where we commiserate that half the year is gone, reveal to you our highlights and lowlights in our reading journey. And I get to celebrate the only tradition that this channel has left, doing this tag. So, without further ado, I think I should just get into the questions and bookish answers. Which is the first question. The best book so far this year. Hannah, I hope you did a drum roll because that is without a doubt Know My Name by Chanel Miller. Oh, just thinking about this book gets me a little emotional. I'm like feeling it also in my chest. I'm gonna tell you BookTube was right. I'm gonna tell you Cindy was right. I just think the world should know that this book is good. I'm convinced that if someone were to tell me they would only read one book a year, I think I would tell them to read this book. There's so much emotion and heart put into this book. It's about Chanel Miller's case with sexual assault on her campus, and it goes through the trial process, how it affected her, and tells such a tragic story, I think, in a surprisingly optimistic way. So if you can read it, I truly think it is a masterpiece. And I know I'll be thinking about it for a long time. And the other book that I think is the best book that I've read so far this year is I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which basically follows a girl and a guy on a road trip to meet his parents. And so this whole time you're getting eerie feelings. You're not sure what's off because nothing is sounding off. And yet, in your mind, you're like, this ish is sketchy. It's basically like if you've ever taken a night class at your college campus and you have to leave at like 10 p.m. at night to your car, and you're like, I know theoretically nothing is in the dark, but it's still scary, so you kind of speed walk with like your car key in your finger, just waiting for something to pop out. That is the feeling of this book. Just on an eerie drive, nothing is going wrong, but you can feel it about to implode. I don't know what else to say. Do you either want to cry or be terrified? Those are the best books this year. Second question is, what is the best sequel that you've read this year? And fun fact about me, I don't read a lot of series, and I've only read one sequel, so that has to be the answer for this video. Good on me, because the sequel I read this year, Layer of Dreams, I am not even exaggerating right now, I think might be the best sequel I've read. But to be fair, it is everything I love. It's a slow burn character study with dream metaphors. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Libre did me right this year, but I truly think it's better than the Diviners, which is shocking because I loved the Diviners. And it's just, you know, the part of the roller coaster where you're just lifting up like that? You can tell we're getting to know these characters right before, you know, the Avengers assemble, if you will. And I'm a fan of that. So question number 3 is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And to be honest, I don't really keep up to date on releases, but I do know the only thing I am waiting for right now is Ninth House 2, which I don't think we're getting till like 2022. And I swear, if Leigh Bardugo doesn't give us like a City of Heavenly Fire reunion in hell, I am going to be so mad. And if Leigh Bardugo doesn't deliver, I might have to evoke the favorite author card. I will do it. Begrudgingly, I will do it. But the next question is the biggest disappointment this year, and this is without a doubt Never World Wake by Marissa Pessl. This is the second book by Marissa Pessel that BookTube has lied to me. Straight up lied, said it was good, and I thoroughly disagree. And I'm about to tell you, because when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, you will be told. I hate your hair and makeup today.
I hate your hair and makeup today.
I'm so sorry. I will stop referencing things now. But one of my least favorite things in the world is when a book tells you what's going to happen. So, and especially a book that I think hinges on its surprises or hinges on the audience being surprised. So, the book is about this group of high schoolers that get together. There was a mysterious murder we don't know about on this vacation home, and everyone's like, ooh, I have secrets, but I'm not gonna tell anybody. Classic. Then randomly, this out of nowhere old man comes to the front door and is like, you have entered an area of time where things repeat and they will ask you to be vulnerable. And I was like, sir, I hate you. I wish you would die because I need to figure that out. That's the whole point of one of those novels. If you're gonna have a Groundhog Day moment where the characters don't know what's going on, I have to be there with them. Because of course they're not gonna listen to this weird old man who came to the front door. I know, as the reader, he's telling the truth, but of course these high school teenagers in the narrative of this Marissa Pessel book are not gonna listen. So I was like, how dare you, Marissa Pessel, tell me exactly what is going to happen. I hate that so much. In my opinion, do not read Neverworld Wake, watch Escape Room, because I think that's better. So on to the next question. The next question is, what is the biggest surprise this year? And I am going to say Census. It is the biggest surprise because I have heard no one talking about this book, and I'm going to cautiously recommend it, but only for those who loved A.S. King's absurdism. I'm not talking about Dig, I'm talking about I Crawl Through It absurdism. Census is basically like this giant metaphor for parenting a special needs kid, and he puts it into the context of, I want to say, a life or death brigade member, where going on these weird journeys, taking people's lives. It's basically like The Road, but better. And if you read it, I'm gonna tell you, it takes time. It is not gonna make sense until the end. It's like a quilt of books. You're like, this is a weird pattern, this is a weird pattern, but once you put them all together, you have a beautiful quilt from your grandma. And that's what this book is like. Don't try to figure it out. Pay attention and it'll just piece together like a beautiful quilt. And that's how I'm going to sell it to you. So the next question is, who is your favorite author this year, or an author you've discovered this year? And I'm going to shock the nation because I'm going to say a classic author. Whoa! I'm going to say Henry James. I have read 3 Henry James novels for different English classes that I've taken this year, and I've surprisingly liked all of them. Even though he is a man, I will give him women. Wait, that didn't make sense. Even though he's a guy, he can write women pretty well, and I think in really interesting ways. So if you were a fan of like Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby, Daisy Miller, look at that. Should I name my kid Daisy? Maybe, because I loved both of them. Creating unlikable protagonists in an interesting way to engage in a discussion about society and how we treat women. And I love that. So the next question is newest fictional crush. And there have not been a whole lot of heartbreakers that I have encountered this year. And when I was going through my Goodreads list, the only one I would really consider dating is the guy from A Million Jews. He's a 22-year-old Southern boy who's also a writer. And then the other one that I would possibly consider dating if he was older would be Ethan from Beautiful Creatures. He is also a smart southern boy who doesn't write, but we're close. Do we have a type? Maybe.
Baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low.
So what is a book that made you cry this year? So again, for a book that made me cry out of sadness, I again have to say Know My Name. It's the type of book that breaks your heart and then by the end of it puts it back together. And it is, I don't know how someone can put their emotions so well into words. But I've already talked about Know My Name. You should read it. Everyone should read it. So the one that made me cry happy tears was actually Sonny's Blues by James Baldwin, which follows these two brothers, these two vastly different brothers. One is a family man and the other is a rebel who sells drugs. And these two brothers have kind of been having problems. They're not communicating well. They don't understand the other person's life choices. And so the younger brother just kind of runs away. And by the end of the story, it's a short story, they come together and the older brother kind of has this realization moment about what music means to his younger brother. And it is so beautiful. The way that James Baldwin describes music I have never seen done before, because there's a thing in music called a call and answer, and he somehow feels like he's writing in a very call and response type of manner. There's a rhythm, there's a rhyme to it. Every question has an answer. I personally have never seen music be written in a way that you could almost feel it too. And I think this is a brilliant short story, and it's one I'm going to be thinking about for a long time, so you should read it too. So the next question is a book that made you happy, and the answer I chose for this one was Front Desk. It is such an optimistic yet heartbreaking take on immigration. So this follows a girl named Mia. Please check it out for me, Hannah. And her parents kind of run this hotel, and they're getting so overworked that a 12-year-old has to run the front desk. And so Mia kind of lets other immigrants stay at their hotel even though she's not supposed to. So it's all about discussing assimilation, there's racism. All of these conversations are tackled in a middle grade book so well too. There's conversations that Mia has with her friends at school and conversations that she has with her parents, and yet it never loses this surprisingly optimistic side, which is pretty impressive. Yes, 100%. Front Desk, A+, 100%, good book. The next question is the most beautiful cover you have bought in this year. And fun fact, I didn't have an answer until I literally went to half price today. So I think we should do a little haul. Are you ready? Okay, thank you, that's enough. This year has really been the focus on the TBR, and we've got it down pretty significantly. So, not to toot my own horn, but beep beep. Let's go, me. Which is a perfect transition into our last question, which is, what book do you need to read by the end of the year? And should we just look at the TBR pile? I mean, why not? Let's go. Transition. Ow. Hi, and welcome to my room. Alright, TBR tour, ready and go. Wow, more Henry James. I love toxic theater environments, don't you? Aphrodite Reads, please come back. I love Brenna Jovanoff. Have I mentioned Brenna Jovanoff? Tessa Gratton, underrated reader. But that kind of concludes this video. That's been my TBR, and it's crazy half of the year is gone, but thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Keep reading and all that jazz. What? Okay. I have to leave the class. Wait, what am I saying? Hello, light. Thank you. So don't think about it. Pay attention. Wait, that counteracted itself. Shoulder pads.